Star Wars Hunters has now been out for about a week now, and the overall reception for the game has overall been incredibly positive from what I've been seeing. So in today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and pretty much just say I told you so, because I saw so many comments in the years leading up to launch, essentially just saying that because it's a mobile game, it's going to be terrible, or that it's going to have pay-to-win mechanics, and just the usual presumptuous crap that you see a lot of games get these days, which I understand is justified from the past, especially with the likes of Star Wars Battlefront 2, but I've been playing the soft launch for Star Wars Hunters for the whole 2.5 years, and had a huge amount of fun on it. The mobile gameplay had always been solid, the Hunters for the most part had always been pretty well balanced. The game modes were a lot of fun, and some of the cosmetics were incredible as well, even a couple of years ago, and have since just only gotten better. So I've always known the game's been a lot of fun, and I've been telling a lot of you guys through my videos that the game is just a really great game and everyone should at least try it out because it is obviously free to play. Now, I appreciate I don't have a particularly big reach whatsoever, so perhaps even many of you watching now have only recently discovered my channel in the last couple of days, but I definitely feel like I've been a pretty big advocate for this game in terms of trying to get people to give it a go. And thankfully, because of Zynga doing a pretty decent marketing push, especially in the last couple of weeks before the launch of the game, a lot of people found it again because over the last 3 years, people had genuinely forgotten about its existence. And I think just when the game launched, a lot of people were then starting to talk about it, say it was good and whatnot, so then a lot more people found it. And pretty much within the first day of release, the game was the top downloaded free-to-play game on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, and possibly even the Nintendo Switch as well, but I'm not too sure on that one. But regardless, it's done incredibly well on all of the platforms so far, and whilst there are definitely some issues like some bugs regarding the payment on Nintendo Switch for the Arena Pass, Sentinel and Scorer still being slightly OP, but I'd say definitely not as bad as they were in the last soft launch season. But all of these things are things that can get fixed and tweaked relatively quickly, and there hasn't genuinely been anything game breaking whatsoever, so it really has just been a very polished release. And it's obviously got controller support for mobile devices as well. You can play with a controller on the Nintendo Switch. There's gyro aiming on the Nintendo Switch, which I know someone in particular is very, very happy with that on the Star Wars Hunters Discord server. So I feel like the game is incredibly accessible, and ultimately it's a pretty polished and just well-crafted game, and something that a lot of Star Wars fans will really enjoy, especially when it comes to the lore and things with regards to the skins, because everything in the game is canon. So I feel like there is just something for everyone to enjoy. Now, I think another big testament to the game's success over the last week or so is the fact that the biggest criticism that I've been seeing is simply just the fact that the game is not out on Xbox, PC and PlayStation. Now, I totally understand and appreciate the frustrations of it not being out on those platforms, but ultimately Star Wars Hunters is a mobile game first of all, and Zynga are ultimately a publisher who have dominated the mobile space over the last few years, and Star Wars Hunters is one of their first ever games to go into the console space. And that's something we've known for a couple of years now that Zynga want to do. And given they're a mobile gaming publisher, it makes so much sense to push a game live onto a Nintendo Switch because that is a mobile console. Now, just because the game isn't releasing on Xbox and PlayStation at this moment in time, that's not to say that it won't in the future, because I think if the game is genuinely successful enough, which it possibly might already be, but if it also is financially successful as well, then that might be the tipping point to put it on PlayStation, Xbox and PC as well. But obviously the gameplay and whatnot won't be as smooth and fluid as the likes of typical console arena shooters, so that is something that I'm slightly worried about. But at the same time, the game is out now, everyone knows how good it is, so I don't really think it would be a particularly big issue. But at the end of the day, Zynga obviously will need to decide whether or not it's actually worth the cost of pushing it out onto those other platforms, because I think a lot of people who are playing it even now would probably then change to PlayStation and Xbox, so it's pretty much a net zero gain probably for a lot of people because they are simply just switching platforms. But I suppose that doesn't really matter because from Zynga's perspective, as long as people are playing the game, then I don't think they really mind too much. But regardless of that, I told you so. I told you all so many times that this game was good and everyone should be trying it and giving it a go because it is worth their time, even if it was only a quick 10-minute playtest. It seems like a lot of people have been really enjoying this game, which is really, for me, just quite fulfilling because I've been saying it for years now. So I'm glad everyone is enjoying the game as much as I have been over the last couple of years. That is going to do it from me today though. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more Star Wars Hunters content. And let me know in the comments who your favourite hunter is at the moment as well. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.